You've made a lot of news, Albert, talking about the Rams and their process of trying to get somebody from Carolina. What is the Rams' philosophy here, and what did they try to do with Brian Burns and also for McCaffrey? What do you got for me on that subject matter?
So, yeah, I mean, I think the way the Rams view it right now is they've got a core of 4 players. Really, realistically, what we're talking about here is Stafford, Kupp, Donald, and Ramsey. And I think there's also, an acknowledgement, and, this is something that I've talked about the last few months. Sean McVay's future with the team is probably tied to those 4 guys. And in all likelihood, when those guys are gone, McVay is going to be gone too. And so, I think the way that they look at this is we have to do everything we can to maximize what we've got right now because we've got a special coach and we've got a special core of players. And maybe that lasts for another year, maybe it lasts for 5. But whatever that period of time is, we need to get the most out of those guys right now. And that's why like a 2024, 2025 first-round pick wouldn't be as valuable. That's why their picks in 2023 aren't as valuable. And so that's why, they made a very spirited run at Christian McCaffrey. The Niners wind up getting him for a second, third, and fourth-round pick in 23 and a fifth-round pick in 24. The Rams' offer was really close to that. It was second and third in 23, a fourth and a fifth in 24, and Cam Akers. The Panthers decided they wanted the 4 in 23, and that wound up being the tiebreaker. But they made a very, very real offer to the Panthers to try and get Christian McCaffrey out of there. And and as part of all of this, they wind up making a monster offer for Brian Burns too. It was more than 2 first-round picks. So
when were those first-round picks, Albert? Were they like for?
It wasn't 3 first-round picks, but it was more than just the 2 first-round picks.
But when
24 and 25.
24 and 25. Okay.
And 24 and 25, and so. Look, they've made no secret that they want to go get pass rush help, and that's part of where they are right now. Is that they want to go get an edge rusher to replace what they lost with Von Miller going out the door, and Burns would give them a guy who's under contract for the next year and a half, and that they could sign long term, and it wouldn't be all that different from the juncture at which they got Jalen Ramsey, right? Like when they got Jalen Ramsey, it was with a year and a half left on his rookie deal. They wind up signing him to an extension. It'd be very, very similar to that. And it would be on the premise, we believe we're going to be really good for the next couple of years, continue to be good for the next couple of years. And so if you're talking about, the 25th or 30th pick in the draft in 24 and 25, there's no way we're going to get a Brian Burns type of player out of that. So that's sort of where they are right now. Again, I think it's just all in on that core of players. And it's not like F them picks. It's more about just being all in on a group of people you have in the building right now that you believe are a special group of people, and obviously validated that with the Lombardi Trophy just a few months ago.
Man, what a juncture right now for the Rams. So there's 2 other questions I have for you. One is associated with the Rams, and the other one involves another West Coast team. Albert Breer here on the Rich Eisen Show. What is the status of Odell Beckham here on this trade deadline day, and how does it affect things? Best you can tell here.
Yeah, everything I've heard on him. I mean, it's kind of tricky because if you're a team and like say you're Tampa or Buffalo or Green Bay or the Rams, like one of these teams that's at least touch base with him. I think part of it is there is some unknown if he decides presumably he'll wait past today. Right. So, if you don't make a move today, obviously you can't do anything else on the trade front. You've got this one piece, could wind up being a really significant piece based on depending on how he comes off of the knee. Mm-hmm. But you're not assured of that, right? So that's what I think makes it tricky. That's why, if you look at the Chiefs, the Chiefs go and get Kadarius Toney when they got him, and a part of that was they were interested in Odell Beckham, but they don't have a lot of cap space, and they had a need for a pass rusher. So it sort of allowed them to check that box rather than waiting around and then turn around and start looking for a pass rusher, which is where the Chiefs have been. So, it's sort of a weird spot for the teams that have been in touch with Odell Beckham. And I think it seems at least like Beckham's approach here is whatever's best for him, he's going to get to that point by being able to collect the most information. And by being a free agent right now, waiting allows him to collect that information. So instead of, making a leap of faith to a team that is a real contender November 1st, is still going to be in that position a couple months from now, which, we can make reasonable assumptions about certain teams. If you wait until you're closer to being at full health and ready to go, you're going to have a clearer picture of where the Rams are, the Packers are, the Bills are, the Bucks are, the Chiefs are. And that's going to allow you to make a better decision for you. So I think that's sort of where it's at right now. And, I think for Beckham, and I don't disagree with the strategy. The strategy is sort of, by waiting, I can kind of give myself a more clear view of where each team is closer to when the real big games are being played.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.